Mike, aka Soldier0016. This video is to you. It's to tell you thank you for being such a wise man, or growing into wisdom. When I looked at your video and you said you used to take whatever the government threw at you and didn't question, I was glad to be one of the people who ask you to question the government. You showed a lot of signs to being a man who's coming up on his own in wisdom. You know, not too many people would just question the government. They just take whatever's there. The government says something, they just do it because it's the government, even if they know it's wrong. And not every day somebody will come up and challenge that belief or question. I'm glad right now you are. You're going to have a lot of people who's going to knock you for being that way, but don't worry about it. You know, I'm just glad to see you're one of the people who's come right out there and said so. You know, I never want censorship on the web. And when people try to censor, that gets me mad. But in your situation, I was glad, so glad, that you've come around to starting to question. I had my awakening back in 1976 when I started seeing how this country was going back then. Similar like it is now. Except back then it was gas lines. Inflation was over 20%. There wasn't too many jobs available back in the middle 70s. Job places started laying off like crazy. There was not too much opportunity. Government was out of control then. It started getting me to start questioning people like the Richard Nixons and the Jimmy Carters back in those days. Probably more or less Jimmy Carter. I started looking at life a different way, and it grown and matured over those years. In the late 80s, I got to meet Irwin Schiff, who opened my eyes up even wider to questions I never thought of asking. Even our research was parallel. At first I thought people like him were nutcases. Then they opened my eyes when I started trying to prove them wrong, instead proving them right. Just like you had stated in your video, trying to prove me wrong, all the while proving me right. And to me that's a big thumbs up, because you can pass that message on to others. But unfortunately, with these elections, with the two candidates that are running, Obama and McCain, to me proves this country has really went downhill. It don't matter which one gets in office. No matter if it's Obama or McCain, they're both going to govern the same way. Politicians have never proved me wrong in that way. But I do want to personally send a thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for always questioning, even myself. And I hope you in the future keep producing these great videos, because you make me proud every time. You have a good one, and I will keep in touch.